Can you hear me?
Check 1 2.
All
There it is.
right.
I can
my
hear you
goodness.
now. Okay.
We in. Oh
You're
gosh,
going off.
Good
that one
start.
button.
All right. Yo, hey, welcome everybody to the very rocky start of our Q&A. We have your boy, Nick, the question answer Anabne here. Now we're going to start things off. Nick, tell us something about you that no one knows in the whole world.
Nobody in the world knows.
Your
Yeah,
deepest,
tell us
darkest secret.
Oh, I don't like that question at all. I've never broken a bone. Does that count?
Whoa, dark. I love it.
Pretty dark.
That's
Yep.
very good.
No one knows
Now
it.
we all know. Very good. All right. And then Logan, the brains Greer here. Logan, if you had to guess the Hulk versus Thor with a crutch because his leg was broken, who's gonna win?
The Hulk.
Okay. You're probably right. All right. And the smartest of us all, Wolf, right here. And you just tell us anything about you. Anything we would love to hear.
Anything?
Anything.
You gave him something specific and you give me anything?
Tell us your deepest, darkest secret.
There
Okay,
it is.
not that. But how about I tell you my most embarrassing moment, which
Yes.
happened when I was in high school.
Okay.
That's a great one. Let's do it.
Okay, so my youth group from Carl Junction, it's where I went to church when I was growing up. We took this big old trip and we went to lots of places on the East Coast. And so we were in Delaware in the ocean. And so all of the girls were like sunbathing on the beach. And I went out into the waves with the guys. And I had a one-piece suit on. It wasn't like it was a skimpy little thing, a very modest one-piece suit. But a giant wave came and hit me, and my top fell down in front of my youth group boys.
And what? That's your deepest, darkest secret too, right there.
No, I'm telling you right now.
It was no secret.
Super
That's
embarrassing.
pretty embarrassing.
That's
Super
really embarrassing.
And I'm
So
sorry.
my youth minister was like, "Hey, Ann, can I get you a t-shirt?" Because I ducked into the water, horrified. He's like, "Can I get you a t-shirt?" I'm like, "I'll be okay." And I just got my suit back on and I just
Oh
went
my
on the lake.
gosh. At least he wasn't like, Ann, come on. I'm going to need you to not do that, please. We're at church.
I'm going to need you to go
We're
home.
gonna send you
I need you to catch the
I'm
first
going to go
plane
ahead and
home.
send you home.
Hey, okay,
Yeah, I
so
survived, guys. I'm still here.
to answer questions, we're so excited about it. Hey guys, we're super excited about this. For the next hour-ish, we are going to be answering any questions that you guys have A, already sent in, or B, are going to ask us in the chat. So feel free to ask anything in there and we will get to them just as soon as we possibly can. But how about we start out with a question? Let's start with an easy one. What do you think, guys? Sound good? All right,
Sounds
here's
great.
the very first one. What is your favorite musical album? Nick, what do you think?
Favorite, like historically or right now?
It's like your favorite album.
I feel like we got to analyze everything that's asked. Yo, Reliant K's Two Lefts Don't Make a Right, but Three Do was the middle school jam. I listened to that and played RuneScape for hours on end. So I'd probably say
That's a banger. That's great, man. I'm a fan myself.
That's a good
Reliant
one,
K is great. All right, Logan, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. So DC Talk, Jesus Freak, does that date me a little bit? Like that changed my life. It radically changed what I thought Christian music could be. But
Yeah.
I will say, so I liked it. It changed my life. But I think if I had to pick a favorite, I think Audio Adrenaline's Bloom album.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if you guys listened to that. It's real good.
Nice.
It's really worth picking up. It has aged well. So it's a good one.
The same can't really be said for Jesus Freak. If any of you guys are listening and you haven't heard it, go listen to it. You'll love it.
Yeah, go Spotify that or Apple Music or whatever you got.
All right, and what about you? Favorite album?
Okay, this is a very difficult question because I like a wide variety of musical genres. And so if I'm starting to listen to something, I can hang with it for a while and then I'm like, I'm done. So to pick an album means I can listen to the whole thing and not need to move on. So this is a very big deal.
Tell us.
The
What
Wicked
is it?
soundtrack.
Hey,
yeah,
yes.
That's good.
It's good.
Yes.
Is
My
it?
wife and I went to see Wicked for our honeymoon in New York.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome.
In New
Wow.
York.
How fancy.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
amazing.
I saw it
That
in
was really
Tulsa.
cool.
I went to
Nice.
Des Moines, Iowa for my honeymoon.
Nice.
To see
That's
Wicked?
basically the same.
We all saw Wicked on our honeymoon, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
all of us did.
Okay. Also, mine is thanks for asking, guys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
what's
What's
say
yours? What's yours,
Sigh
Nathan?
No More. Sigh No More by Mumford and Sons is
Oh,
probably
that's a good one.
the best, consistently the best album that I have heard. I think,
Mumford.
even today.
That's a really good one.
Dude, it's
Mumford's
a good one.
amazing.
They're very good. All right, cool. We got the easy one out of the way. Now we're gonna ask a little bit of a trickier one. All right. So there's a mix
Tricky.
of some goofy ones and some serious ones in here. So the next one's gonna be a little bit serious. Somebody asked, "What is a good way to get motivated to read your Bible during quarantine?" This is a really good question. What do you guys think?
I have an answer for that.
Go for it.
Whenever I was in middle school and high school, I had this realization that I would always stay up for 5 more minutes to play one more round of a video game, or stay up for a few more minutes to, I don't know, do whatever. But anytime it came to reading my Bible, I would think about it at night. I'd be like, I'm too tired, and I would go to bed. But I would not say that about other activities. So I just sort of like convicted myself into reading at least one chapter of the Bible at night. And I did that for years. I would read one chapter of the Bible before I went to bed. And I actually got through lots of the scripture that way, and it was really beneficial. So it's an easy way.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of the flip flop of that, is more like I'm not going to do anything else in the morning until I've done this.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So like if I'm going to look at Facebook, I don't let myself do that until I've done some scripture first.
It's like they always say, the best part of waking up is picking your Bible up, right?
Exactly what they say.
The classic up rhyme in the jingle.
Yeah. I realized about halfway through that second line, I was like, already committed. Very cool. Nick, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, communal, like doing it in community has been a real big help. So I've got a group of friends, and we meet, and at first it was like, man, it's just going to seem like homework. But after we talked about it, we were like, what's relevant? And so we decided we were going to take a psalm each week and just like meditate on it. And so we started out together that night, and it was super awesome because it was in community. It gives some accountability.
The Bible app has a cool way of like sharing a plan with each other, and then you can kind of see who's been reading, and you can even chat about it. It's cool.
I think also listening to the Bible is helpful, especially if you're like taking a walk or even doing a chore or something like that. Just listening, make sure the scripture is getting in there.
That's great. I hope that was super helpful, because it is very, very important right now. And we've got a ton of time, I mean, most of us have a lot of time. So what better way to spend it, for sure. All right, we're going to jump back into another one. Not as deep, all right? Question Asker 39 says, what's your favorite Netflix series?
Ooh.
All right, whoever wants to start first, jump in.
Well, I have some clarifying
I like a lot of
questions.
different genres of Netflix series.
Yes. So to watch a whole one all at once.
Does it
So
have
when
to be
you
on
say-
Netflix, or can it be on Hulu?
or
The
Prime.
question asker said Netflix, but
Okay.
that could be
Now, but
synonymous
here's
with
my-
streaming platforms.
Here's my clarification question.
Okay.
A Netflix series, as in put out by Netflix, or just on Netflix?
That's what I was wondering too. Question Asker 39. They said either one. That's fine.
Very quiet question answer 39.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Currently on Netflix, or has been anytime?
Oh my gosh.
I would say if you watched it on Netflix, I guess that's fine.
And we've actually got
have
it
another
pulled up right
question.
here. So if you say something I can't find, we're kicking you off.
I have another
well, then I
question.
won't say it.
Does it count if we think it might be on Netflix eventually?
I think
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
excellent question.
Hey, if it's like a entertainment of any kind, you can probably say it. It'll be on
What
Netflix
about
one day.
are books in on this too?
Okay.
Listen, y'all are the worst.
And
I'm
what were you
going to
gonna
tell
say?
you what I
I
like to
used
watch,
to get
but it's not
Netflix
on
on
Netflix right
DVDs
now.
in the mail. Does that count?
I got a lot
I'm
of
just going
DVDs.
to talk.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I like to watch Psych, but it's not on
Oh.
Netflix right now.
Yeah,
It's on
fun
Psych's
one.
solid. Yeah,
like
it's
Psych.
fun.
So it may not count. I may not have correctly answered that question.
Hey, that's great. It was one time, probably. Nick, you got a favorite one?
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've had Netflix, but I'm on the Disney Plus grind and just watched The Mandalorian again because it's awesome.
How do you feel about that, Nathan?
It's fine, guys. Hey, listen. Here's a question you can ask me: do I like The Mandalorian? It's okay.
Have you
All
finished
right.
it though?
I did
Have you
finish
finished it?
I did
Okay.
finish it. The last episode was good.
Hey, should I
Yeah.
change the title to question and answers about The Mandalorian for the next hour?
Do that.
Okay, so we got Mandalorian and Psych, neither of which are on Netflix. What do you think, Logan?
I think the most recently, I watched The English Game, which is on Netflix. It's very good. And then I really like A Series of Unfortunate Events. Is that a Netflix thing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shows ever. So yeah, that's
Cool.
that's a strong one. And then the classic one where the kids are fighting monsters. What's that one called?
Monster
Stranger
Fighter Kids.
Things.
Oh yeah.
Stranger Things.
Oh,
I like
Monster
Stranger
Kid
Things.
Fighters.
Hey, and one of my favorite shows of all time, maybe my favorite show of all time, is gonna be on Netflix in May.
What is
It's
it?
The Last Airbender, Avatar.
Yeah, baby.
It
No
is?
way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
cool.
the full 3 seasons? Are we talking
Oh, yeah.
Korra? Are we talking
No.
the whole?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The good one.
All 3 books.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, super jazzed about that.
Guys, probably said the Office.
Oh, Natty, you're breaking up, buddy.
Am I really?
I'd
The
say
Office?
probably
Am I still?
42.
Natty is like so laggy right now.
So The Office?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
The
Okay,
Office.
hold on.
There you are.
Parks
You're
and
back.
Rec.
The Office, Parks and Rec. Those are
Office.
solid shows.
Also, The Dragon Prince. You guys watched any of that? Same people
Yeah.
that made Avatar.
A
It's
little
cool.
bit.
I think it's garbage, but okay.
Oh, okay. All right, sweet. So next. Okay, hey guys, here's an easy one. Or actually, who knows? We've all been here. Here's the question: any advice for graduating seniors? What do we think? One piece of advice that you could give a graduating senior today, what would it be?
Like this year,
Yes. On
specific to
that-
this year.
Yes.
Okay. I think it would be important that they actually list out the things that they are grieving the loss of, and just acknowledge that that is a grief. And then also list out the things that they are grateful for in this season and the things they're looking forward to. So it's just not ignoring it. It's acknowledging what I'm lost, what I have, and what I'm looking forward to. That would be my recommendation.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Good advice.
Logan, you got one?
I was gonna say I encounter seniors quite a bit who have had the people ask them about 1,000 times what they're gonna do or what they want to be and stuff like that. And my advice to them is always like, people are always gonna try to get you to answer what you want to do or what kind of job you want to have or what college you want to go to. But I think it's really important for them to really identify what they think is the most important thing in life, and then to pursue something around that instead of some other thing like money or job or something, but like identify to them what is the most important thing in your life and then build around that. That brings clarity, especially if they don't already have an idea of where they want to go or what they want to do.
Yeah.
So
And I would say, building on that, I think that's a really helpful tool because I know that tons of seniors and people all every age don't know what they want out of life. And I think that there's an okayness to that that I feel like we're not always super comfortable with, but I like the idea of encapsulating what the most important thing to you is to help you answer that question, what do I want out of life. But I'd also like to kind of bask in the idea that it's fine if you haven't got it all figured out, because nobody does.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a lot of pressure too. It's like you got to have it figured out right now, but like literally talk to any adult that and the vast majority of them are not currently doing what they thought they would be doing when they were your age. So it's okay to not have it totally nailed down yet.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can definitely change your mind. You can change your mind several times as far as a career goes. But I've heard it said, even little tiny kids, we ask them, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? A firefighter, a teacher, and to try to teach your kids to say things like, I want to be kind. I want to be generous. That's what I want to be when I grow up. So having that mindset.
Dang, I've been telling my kid to get money, get paper. That's it.
You gotta get that cash.
I might want to watch this video again later.
What is
really meditate on it.
Isley, what do you want to be when you grow up? $1. That doesn't make much sense.
My girl. Okay. Nick, what do you think?
I'd say focus on who you are in Christ as opposed to what you do.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to, and self included, so many people who, like right around graduation time, started to kind of enter into a funk because a lot of identity had been found in going to school and in making grades, and that was kind of the measure of success. And then all of a sudden there's no grades, and the question's asked, who am I? And it's kind of like I call it a quarter life crisis. I don't know if that's right to use or not, but it's real. Identity comes from Christ, not from all the different stuff that we do.
Yeah. That's great. It's helpful. All right, let's jump into another one. All right, this one we'll have everybody answer, and then from here on out, we might just pick a couple of you guys to answer so we can get through more of these. All right. Number one question on everybody's mind. Hey, now guys, this is a Christian server we're on right now. Harry Potter. What are our thoughts on it? We love it. We hate it. What do we think?
I have opinions. Can I answer this one?
Yeah, I'm going to tweet it, whatever you say.
I think Harry Potter's fantastic. I think it's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest series. I think it's a classic. It will be a classic. I think that it got a lot of hate at the beginning from Christians because of the witchcraft imagery and stuff, which is fine. I think it's good for Christians to be sensitive to that. But I think, especially as the series concluded, it became really clear, and actually Rowling is openly Christian. Now she's probably like a different brand or version of Christian than we would probably talk to at church on Sunday if we, could have church on Sunday. But she's Anglican. She has lots of Christian imagery and life coming from blood and sacrifice and community and mentorship. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. So I think it's great. I highly recommend it. I think it's wonderfully written, beautiful conversation starters for kids and stuff. But yeah, I would say it is scary. There is some darkness there. There's some complexity that, to me, what we're going to probably do with Valentine is like, she gets to read one a year. So she will age up with Harry. So it's like when she turns 11, she'll be able to read the first one. When she turns 12, she'll be able to read the second one.
I want to say that sounds really cool, but at the same time, I really want to make fun of you guys for that.
Go for it.
Do it then, Nick.
Do it. See what happens.
Okay. What do you think, Anne? Harry Potter.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Very well put. Nick, come on. What do you think about it?
Witchcraft is bad unless it's Lord of the Rings, I think is the consensus.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of friends who have read through them. I'm sure they're enjoyable. I've seen like one movie, but I can't say a whole lot about it.
What? Okay, wait.
You haven't?
I was going to do a bit about not liking Harry Potter, but you haven't read them?
Listen, Nick, I'm right there with you. That's why Okay, so that was kind of my deepest, darkest secret was I've
We
not
got
read
it.
any of the Harry Potter and
Oh
I've
my
only
gosh.
seen like 2 movies.
That's good. You're in a perfect place. You should read them and not watch the movies until you
Don't
read
watch the movies. Oh my
Well, I
gosh.
was underwhelmed by the movies.
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
that's because
totally.
they're underwhelming. The books are phenomenal.
Well, but I knew, Nathan Morris, I knew I would be judged by my lack of reading
We're not
the
judging
Harry
you or
Potter.
Nick. We're not judging
What?
either of you guys for
What
that.
movies? What
What?
movies? What movies have you seen? Which ones have you seen?
Oh, I thought you meant
Remember?
period.
I don't know. I was watching on a plane.
They had a
There,
There's
wand.
a Harry
there was a
Potter.
wizard or
I watched
something. Something about a scar.
it. I don't know.
Here's
There's
the deal.
people
Part of
flying
me
around.
wishes I could go back
Mhm.
and read them fresh again because
Yeah.
they're just so fun to read through the first time.
Especially if you haven't seen the movies. You guys are in a
Yeah.
prime place.
Yeah.
I was gonna call you guys all witches and roast you, but no, that's this is a great opportunity, you know? Talking Jesus and Harry Potter.
Okay.
Okay. You're not gonna
Yeah.
do it. Okay. All right. Very nice. Okay. So here is another one. This one is a little bit tricksy. Let's see how it is. How did Adam and Eve repopulate the world after their sons both died?
The same way they repopulated before their sons died.
All right, cool. So that's a good answer.
All right, next question.
I like that one. All right, here's an actually a pretty deep one. What study materials, in addition to the Bible, have you enjoyed or have helped you grow in your faith? It's a good one.
Okay, I'll go.
And
So I've done all kinds of things. I've done those really intensive women's Bible studies like Beth Moore and Priscilla Shirer or whatever you say. Done all kinds of that kind of stuff. I think I go through phases of what I find to be enriching. And right now, it's just like I just want the Bible.
Hmm.
And so that's where I'm focusing on. Now, I do really enjoy books that point me to scripture. Um, and then I have this already at my desk. This is something that Logan and Anna got me a few years ago. This is one of my favorites. Right there.
Oh yeah. That's a
It's
good one.
a daily thing. It's just super short, but it's just a good supplemental. So I would say that any kind of like books like this or other books that help you understand Christian concepts, I find those to be helpful. But really, it's just like I'm just going to dive right into this chapter in this whole book, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
cool. And guys, also we do get some proceeds from Tim Keller. So click that link below and buy that book, and we'll get a bit of that. Just kidding. Nick, what about you?
Hey, listen, I had it right here already.
We have to blur it out. Nobody's getting free. No one's getting free advertising in this. You
I'm
know.
going to.
College
I will.
rights.
I'll do it.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so our small group just finished the book Soul Keeping, which for mid school and high school might be kind of a tough read, but it was really helpful to have discussions around the topics brought up in that book. Dude, when I was in like 6th grade, my youth minister gave me something called the 1 Minute Bible, and I remember that being awesome. It was just like a short story and like kind of half a devotional thought about it, and that was something that I like held on. I've still got it somewhere, but that was helpful. And then My Utmost for His Highest is one. It's pretty thick, but it's just like who wrote that? Is it
Oswald Chambers.
Chambers, yeah. He it's just like a devotional over a really short passage, and it's been super helpful.
Cool. Logan, you got one? I know I said we weren't going to ask everybody, but
I listen to sermons quite a bit. So like just finding sermons online, I ask all my friends, like other anyway, like what sermons are good or what pastors are good to sort of like listen to. So sometimes I'll find one church that I really enjoy listening to and listen to a bunch, and then I'll move to a different one. But that's been a really helpful resource for me. And it's easy. It's like I can listen to it while I get ready in the morning or whatever. It feels helpful. And then almost any Tim Keller book is going to be great.
Yeah. I'd also kind of like to highlight what you said there that I'd like to highlight
Make sure you click on that link below.
The fact that you get it from community, that's been largely like the books and the material and the podcasts that have grown my faith the most. I've just come from people who have been like, yo, have you heard this? Check it out, you know, and in my community, and they send it to me and I read it or I listen to it and I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. I've never thought about stuff like that before, you know? So I would advise any of you guys out there, ask your leaders, ask people that you trust, godly leaders or godly adults, like, hey, what are some things that you would point me to, you know? And we've got lists and things like that. Anything Tim Keller, apparently.
It's good work.
Well, he's pretty deep, but this one is easy to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here's an even deeper one. What's the weirdest thing you ever ate? That's what this one says. The weirdest thing you ever ate. Now, Nick, you strike me as the kind of guy who has eaten a weird thing or two. Hit me. What's the weirdest thing you ever ate?
Thank you.
What was it? Peanut butter and corn and
Oh, that was nasty.
We saw it on video.
Yeah,
it looked real gross.
Yeah, it tasted like coffee with peanut butter texture. I really like Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and when I was in New Mexico, we had a contest to see who could find something that didn't go well with Sweet Baby Ray's.
That's awesome.
And so, like, someone got sardines, someone got like canned peaches. That was pretty nasty. But the worst one by far, there were root beer flavored Pop-Tarts, and they were good flavored Pop-Tarts, but not with barbecue sauce.
Why not?
It's a match made in heaven, but it's not. That's my weirdest thing.
Sweet. Anne, what was your weirdest thing you ever ate?
I don't know. I mean, I've had alligator, but I don't know that that's super weird. Is that weird?
It's exotic.
It's pretty weird.
You're not answering questions, Nathan.
Oh, you fancy,
what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Okay, so off the dome, I want to say a worm that I got paid to eat $10 to eat. But I'm looking back, Nick's thing reminded me, we had something that was kind of like Iron Chef as a summer kickoff one time at Cornerstone. And I bought just like the gnarliest stuff imaginable. And like I'm trying to remember what the ingredient that they had to use was. It was like sardines. It was sardines. But they just made these horrible cacophonies of food topped with sardines. And I was the judge. So I just had to go around and taste all their foods.
Oh, no.
So it was some like amalgamation of something with sardines on top. That was the nasty.
Is that why your breath always smells that way?
That's why. It's a lasting effect.
To this day.
All right.
That's funny.
Logan, tell us something weird.
Oh, I've eaten some pretty weird stuff. Live goldfish, probably.
What's this?
Yeah, I swallowed a live goldfish multiple times.
For Jesus, probably, right?
Yeah. There was a time in the Wild West of youth ministry when every man and woman did as they saw fit. That swallowing live goldfish was kind of a fad that swept the nation. And so I did that a few times.
You know what's weird? I've heard my dad tell that story of when he swallowed live goldfish too.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean,
That's
it's weird, man. You can feel it wiggling in your throat. Like as you swallow it, you can feel it kind of like
it's 4:30, we're halfway. Let's keep moving.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for all that. I appreciate it. Here's a head scratcher. If Jesus says to love all your enemies, are we supposed to love the devil? It's a good one. Let's do two of you guys. Anne and Logan. What do you guys think? Either of you guys.
I do believe that. Yeah, go ahead.
the scripture says, hate what is evil and cling to what is good. And the devil is evil. He is our enemy.
Yeah.
He is the enemy. But I think when Jesus is talking about loving your enemies, he's talking about other people. And so the enemy is pure evil, and he does tell us to hate what is evil. That's my short answer.
I like that. What do you think, Logan? You agree?
I think it's important to address the questioner in this regard. Like, is this a gotcha question, or is this a genuine, like, I don't understand, like, how do I apply the words of Jesus to my life in a meaningful way? Or is this like a, see, there's contradictions in the Bible, and like, I mean, context is really important. Jesus is talking about loving your enemies in your life. He's talking about human beings. This isn't like a time for a gotcha. This is a time for, like, who do you have a hard time with? How can you love them? I don't think he's talking about supernatural spiritual beings in an epic struggle for the control of our souls. So yeah, I agree with Anne's thing, and then I would also just be like, why are you asking that question?
Answer in the comments, why are you asking that question? All right. Very nice. Hey, thank you. Next up, guys, here's a big one. This is the one that's been on everybody's lips. If you had to be murdered, but
are you for real?
Is that really a question?
It really is. But you can choose who kills you. Who would you choose?
This is a terrible question.
Answer, cowards. Nick, what do you think?
Yo, what the heck? I
Six,
don't know.
seven.
Probably not any individual I've ever met or know.
Yeah, that's mine too. I don't want to know this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone that I knew was going to kill me anyway, no matter what. That, like,
What does
I
that
couldn't
mean?
change. I feel for their souls. Like, if they're a murderer, I don't want to, like, be like, hey, can you murder me? I would have to somehow know that no matter what I did or said, that was going to happen no matter what. They were not going to change.
Guys,
I feel like I'm in an Inception episode.
you guys missed the big easy answer. Dracula, guys. He kills you. You're a vampire. You can spread the gospel everywhere, forever, for eternity.
Mm-hmm. And have an insatiable appetite for human blood.
Hey, don't we already? The blood
Or
of Christ.
depending on what lore you're looking at, cows too.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, let's not do this one ever again. Here again.
What a fun question, though.
Okay, here's one. This one's directed at me, but I think that we could probably space it out for everybody. So this one says, Nathan, what is the hardest part about raising a newborn in the midst of a global pandemic? But I think that we could probably say, like, if you have kids, what's been tough about this? If you don't have kids, like, what has been tough? Can we say that? Okay, so I'll start it off. The hardest part I feel like is it's kind of like everything feels like it's a lot scarier, and I feel like, I mean, almost everybody could say this, but just like the very weak immune system that a small child has. He also had some health issues starting like a couple of weeks ago, and so Ashley actually had to start taking him to the doctors, and like they're all masked up in there, and Ashley has to wear a mask, and like one time I had to do this meeting, and she had to take Isley with her, and like she had to wear a mask, and it's like, that's wild. You never ever want that to happen, you know. He's doing a lot better, and we hopefully don't have anything. But I would say like everything is a little bit scarier. You always have like concerns about health, especially with like a newborn. But just now, I would say that that's a lot scarier. Just hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Also, nobody's really gotten to meet him. I think like 2 people have actually met this kid for real.
That's true.
It's wild. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. We'll just go up. Let's say, Logan, you have a relatively newborn, and then you have like Valentine's 7 or 8. How old is she?
She's 7. She turns 8 in about a month.
Okay. So what do you think?
I think for us, I'll talk about Valentine and Llewellyn, since you already talked about babies. But for us, it's been like explaining what's going on without making them too afraid, like helping them understand, but also like comforting them, because they can't carry that burden. Really, none of us can. It's like we just do whatever we have to understand, but also like give it to the people who can handle it, and also to the Lord. So helping them process that. But then I would say kind of more like um, down to earth, ground level, has been like friends. Like, how do kids need that? I mean, we all do, but kids especially, I think there's a unique kind of role that social interaction plays. So that's been a tough one. Like, she's got cousins in town and other friends that she can't see.
Yeah.
So that's been an interesting one. There was this horrible situation where she plays with neighbor kids a lot before this, and these two neighbor kids were like running up to our house when our kids were outside, and Anna had to like run up to them and be like, nope, you can't come play with our kids. And it was this horrible, like, the kids were disappointed, didn't understand. And
Yeah.
their mom came over later and was like, what's going on? Why'd you tell my kids they can't be over here? And so we actually had a good conversation, but it was a tough situation. It really is. It's complicated. So
And
I mean, I think I echo the whole friendship thing. And with my two youngest being teenagers, it's interesting because they don't have any problem connecting with their friends online. Like, that's not a problem for them at all. So then as a parent, it's just like, um, how much time are you spending on the computer?
Yeah.
Because you're online a lot for school, but that's also how you're connected to your community too, which is healthy and good. So there's this balance of, yeah, that's important and you need to do that, but not all the time. And so that's been a weird thing to figure out,
yeah,
I think.
and I can echo that with Isley, like with her TV time, with the newborn and working at home and things like that. It's a really hard tension. I feel so. I can imagine. Nick, what do you feel like? What do you think is one of the most difficult parts of facing this global pandemic?
Uh, I think it's been really easy for people to just like think themselves into a hole, into like think yourself into a negative spot. That's probably the better way to say that. Especially when you're alone. A lot of times, like we were talking earlier, there's a lot of health in community, and a lot of health in discussions, and people encouraging you in Christ, and that exists in a different form. And so I think that it's when shelter in place first started happening, there were a lot of people talking about how we're going to need to start taking immediate steps against depression and isolation. And so that hasn't been like a super personal struggle throughout all of this for me, but I know that's a very real thing. I think probably the hardest, you guys know my mom, she has leukemia and she's receiving treatment. And so she's actually been in the hospital for at least, I think, 2 or 3 weeks now. And she can't have any visitors. And she's supposed to be in there for at least a month. And so that really sucks because she's in there alone, and like family have been calling and checking up on her. But like on days like today's, I think, been a rough day on her. And no one can go to do anything. We can only call or text or whatnot, which we've been trying to utilize that as much, but
yeah,
still sucks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I'd just like to take this to speak to all of you guys out there that probably feel some tension like this as well, like whether it's the lack of community or some form of like anxiety or depression, or maybe you're just like super bored. I'd really encourage you guys to reach out, like I said before, to a godly leader, a godly adult in your life. Don't bear that alone. This is a hard situation for everybody. It really is, and some more than others, or some differently than others. So please, I would say reach out. Let's lighten things up just a little bit. Here's a question. Do you like Minecraft? And I'm going to add, if not, what game do you like? What video game do you like if you're a video gamer? Nick, you're the craft boy.
Dude,
what do you
I'm
think?
a crafter. I've been Iron Farms, Wither Skeleton Farms, big builds, like, been there. Yeah, let me answer
Yeah.
the question. Yes. Next.
I love Minecraft. I think it's wonderful.
Really?
Yes,
Sweet.
done.
Okay.
The disbelief in Nathan. Really?
It's fine. It's good. It's okay. It's not often somebody starts talking about a video game thing and I'm totally lost. But all that stuff that you said, I it just went right over
It's
my head.
a communal thing too. That's why it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Logan, what do you think?
I have very little experience with Minecraft. I think it's brilliant. I have it on my phone because I play with my family over the holidays. Like we all get on our phones and do that. And I know that there's like purists, like Nick's face right now. There's purists who are like, no, the Java version. or
Pocket
whatever."
edition, Logan. Really? You know better.
Yeah, sorry. So, but I think
It's
it's
still
fun. It's really fun. It's really smart. I love that there was such an arms race in video games for like better graphics and stuff like that. And it was cool that literally the worst possible graphics is the game that like kind of took over the world. So it's cool.
And I wrote a whole VBS off of Minecraft.
That's
I
true.
love it.
That's the one you did in Spain, right?
Mm-mm.
Or you did one here?
Mhm.
I don't know why I thought that. Cool. I hate Minecraft. I think it's bad.
What? What?
Okay. You probably have
What? You
people
can't.
in your camp.
Hey, have you finished Minecraft before you make a statement like this?
Right. Now's a great time, Nathan. It's a great time. Just
I
dive right
wish I
on
could
in
be
there.
in your shoes.
I get to play it for the 7th time and still hate it. Hey, I don't like Minecraft, but I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, which is actually quite a bit like Minecraft in that it feels like there's not a whole lot going on. So it's not really fair for me to roast Minecraft.
Do you play Isabel?
I don't, but I have been using her in Super Smash Bros. Recently, and I think about you every time I do.
Thank you.
Ben Allen asked if we could play some Smash the other day, and I hadn't played in so long, and I've been playing it a bunch right after that because I'm like back in. So I've been playing Isabel a lot. It's fun.
Good game.
She's good.
It's fun. Cool. Okay. Everybody likes Minecraft. That's good. Okay. Here's a question. This is also one that's kind of directed at me. It feels a little hateful. Just kidding. It actually is very nice. But it's asking about hairstyles, and we can also let's just all talk about our hairstyles. Okay. So here's
Okay.
the first one. What inspired you to do your hair?
Wait, all of us are gonna talk about hairstyles? All
Yes.
four of
Or
us?
your hairstyles. We're talking
Not
your
mine.
hairstyle?
No, let's leave that to me.
This question seems bad.
It says
Just
in
joking.
parentheses, I love it. So I don't know. To answer your question, as far as my hairstyle goes, literally nothing. Okay. There are not very many hairstyles, except for maybe Nick's, that you can just roll out of bed and get going. That's been the sole the sole reason that I keep this thing. Not a whole lot happens that goes into it. I just let it grow and I don't cut it. That's
How long have you been letting it grow? Because that's another question on there, isn't it?
yeah. This is a good question. So the last time I cut my hair, I was 15 years old, 16, maybe 16. But before that, it got a lot bigger. My 7th grade yearbook photo, I couldn't even fit my whole head in there. It was huge. I wish I could show it to you guys. I'd screen share right now. It's a great picture. But
It's just a
yeah.
floating head with a dark backdrop.
Like, just keep scooting back. I'm touching the wall. Keep going. So
But
yeah,
that's not the last time you cut it, because seventh graders are not 15, right?
right. Yeah, I got held back for several years. No, actually, it was my boss at McDonald's. They used to force me to put the little cap up on top, and you can actually unzip the top of it, and it becomes a visor. And they always made me do that. And then finally, straight up, I didn't really blink. Whenever he said it before, I was just like, "This adult sucks." But like, my boss told me that if I ever wanted to get anywhere in life, then I needed to cut it and make it look better than it did. So he said I couldn't come back to work until I cut it, and I did. I wouldn't do that now, but I wouldn't do that if it was presented to me in that way, right?
I would just like, well, never mind. I won't say anything.
It was really awkward, but that was the last time, so I'm free.
You should no. I don't want to be too mean here, but you could very easily say
Nope, nope, nope.
I feel
Nope.
like I need to.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Nick, what about you? We'll zoom over to you. What made you go bald? There's a question on here that says bald is better, isn't it?
Let me answer your first question. Jeans. Dude, I remember when I was in college at Ozark, I was sitting in the caf, and someone was walking by me, and they said, "Nick, did you realize that you're thinning on top?" Which I don't think their intent was negative, but it just wasn't like, of course I know that because I've been dealing with that. And then, yeah, I just like, when I was in New Mexico, I was just tired. I tried to do the hipster do where it's super short on the side and super long, but then it just looked like I just had like a small tuft of hair, and it wasn't even on the top of my head. It was on like, I had this when I came out here. You guys might remember this. It was like a small tuft of hair on the front top of my head, and it was just,
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, I don't like this.
You had hair when you were the intern for middle school.
Oh yeah.
So it's just since you've been there.
Okay, here's another one. This one is a very good one. Controversial. Ice cream or frozen yogurt? What's the best? What do we like the most? And
Ice cream.
Yeah, this is not hard.
Not
whoa,
hard.
Ice cream. If you like frozen yogurt, you're probably like someone who doesn't like Minecraft or something crazy.
Yo, don't associate those two things. Have you? Pineapple Bliss is froyo.
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
No?
No, it's not. It's just fruit. It's like frozen fruit pureed.
I
It's
like
not.
frozen
It doesn't have
yogurt.
milk in it at all.
Not
Guess
like I
that's
don't
my
like
understanding.
frozen yogurt. I do, but it's just like, I mean, ice cream is just better.
you guys hate Gert. I get it.
No, man.
Hey, to be honest, I can't tell the difference. I feel like I've got a very stunted palate because like most of the time people put food in my face and I'm just like, that tastes like chicken, I think. Like
Yep.
it all kinda
Pineapple Bliss is dairy free, so
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ice cream
All right,
has
cool.
to be dairy, I guess.
yeah.
'Cause it's,
And frozen yogurt is literally frozen yogurt.
Frozen Gert. Okay. Here's another one, guys. Who is the Bible character that you relate to the most and why? I'm gonna go first because I don't want you guys to steal mine.
Oh.
Okay.
Mine is Peter
Ah!
because he's extremely he puts his foot in his mouth 24/7. He's always got such good intentions, but it's just watching him and you're like, oh sweetheart, you're gonna get it one of these days.
He's a holy
And
train wreck, isn't he?
he really is, and that I relate to that a
Me
lot.
too.
Sorry.
Me too. Well, you took my answer.
And if you had to pick a second
No,
Bible character that
I
you
refuse.
okay.
who would it be, and how dare you answer Jesus?
How dare you?
That's funny.
Okay. Nick, what do you think?
There's a story in the Old Testament. I think it's when David takes the throne, and there's this dude named Mephibosheth, who is a crippled guy. He's part of Saul's family, and so like, to the customs of that day, he probably should have been killed because he was in relation to the king that was no longer the king. David sends somebody out to find him and bring him in, and says, "Yo, Mephibosheth, you're gonna eat at my table for the rest of your days. Like, we're gonna take care of you." And he had like did absolutely nothing to deserve it. And I think it's a really cool, like, it's Old Testament gospel imagery, and it's super powerful. And it's just like it's like a chapter long, but that's my favorite Bible story right there. So probably Mephibosheth.
Good.
Logan?
It's not the guy I identify with the most, but I think he's probably the guy that I want to be the most like, or that I'm like, oh, I just love. He's my favorite Bible character, I guess I should say,
Jesus.
is Daniel. I really like Daniel a lot. Basically every single narrative with Daniel, I'm like, that's the kind of man I want to be. So that's mine.
Everyone, find a character in the Bible that you identify with, or that you aspire to be like. There's one easy one in there. Okay, cool. Hey, thanks for sharing all that. Here's one that just came in. This one's hot off the press. You guys ready?
Ooh.
Ooh.
What's the lowest amount of money that you take to eat a worm? Is the question. So I've already eaten a worm for $10. I probably wouldn't go much lower than that.
This is an excellent question.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What a good question to put in your pocket for future youth ministry.
I got this on.
Well,
Logan, what do you think?
Probably like it's. I'm pretty high. I think like $100.
oh, that's pretty pricey.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do it for less than 100.
Expensive
Less
worm.
than a old hundo.
A hundo. What
You
about you?
know
Ann?
how I like to ask clarifying questions.
I think I know what you're gonna ask.
How big is this worm?
No,
There it is. That's the one. That's the
are you-
question.
Are you familiar with the boa constrictor?
Yes.
Just kidding. What size of worm are you comfortable with? We'll just say like a little guy. He's a little guy.
A little guy?
Like an average earthworm.
Yeah, an average
A little
worm.
fishing guy?
Yeah, that's the one. How much?
I'm like $50.
$50. Okay. I seem to have the least self-worth so far. Go ahead, Nick. What about you?
I have paid to eat a worm that was 3 feet long, but it
Is this
was a
worm?
gummy worm,
Get out of here.
and it was some of the best gummy that I have ever had. Oh, it was so good.
3 feet long gummy worm. That's wild.
Green
Was it
apple,
like
red
a
cherry.
long like a normal size gummy worm, but just like super long?
No, it was like probably 3 inches in diameter.
Gotcha.
And oh man, when we opened it, the smell of like just the cherry. I dream about that worm sometimes. That was a good one.
I hear that in your voice.
It was really good. We should do that. That should be a youth ministry event in the future.
That's
Oh,
great.
sounds great.
Let me ask you this: does it change if it's cooked in a tasty dish?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Logan, still no for you?
I mean, yeah, maybe. I've had escargot. That's basically like eating worms, and they tasted very much like dirt to me with butter on it. So.
Nice. Dirt butter.
Dirt butter.
Okay, cool.
That was my high school band name.
Dirt butter.
All right, guys, we have enough time for maybe 2 or 3 more questions. Here's one coming up. What is your favorite movie of all time? Of all time.
Of all times.
Logan, we'll start with you. I feel like I would keep starting with you.
Can
Ann,
I want to answer for Anne.
No, you cannot.
Ann, what's your
Because he's
movie that
gonna
everyone's
lie.
heard of?
He sits on a throne of lies.
What's your favorite movie and why is it the B movie?
It's not the B movie. I've never even seen the B movie. My favorite movie is Clue.
Oh wow.
I watch it every year.
With Timothy in it? Timothy Curry?
Oh yeah, love it. Have it memorized.
You really do?
Yeah.
All right, we have 6 minutes. Tell us the whole movie. Just kidding.
No.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Clue is number 1 in Ann's heart. Nick, what about you?
Dude, it's a 3-way tie between the Avatar: The Last Airbender, Dragon Ball
No,
Evolution.
get out of here.
No.
Probably Hercules, old school Hercules.
That's a great movie. It's a really good one.
The Disney one?
Like in the 90s Hercules. Honey, you mean Huncules, that Hercules.
That's your favorite movie?
It's nostalgic.
Okay. I can roll with nostalgia.
Yeah.
I can roll with nostalgia. That's good.
Logan, what about you?
I want to hear yours, Natty, first.
Oh, I was going to answer for Logan.
Okay, so my favorite movie is Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
That's a good one.
I'll just leave it there, I guess. Let's do that.
More than
Wait.
The Phantom Menace?
Like, get out of here. Why are you doing this?
Attack of the Clones, I think, is
I think we could have an entire episode nothing about, but it's just Star Wars movies. Like
you know
we
it's
could
a great Star Wars
completely do
movie,
that. Rogue One.
Solo.
The Last Jedi. All right.
Hey guys, this has been our
Logan's is Les Mis.
Oh yeah, she got me.
Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
This is great.
It's real
Wow.
good. The newer musical one is my favorite. They're all good. All the Les Mises are good.
I agree. I love it.
Natty, you used a Les Mis clip in like one of your first sermons at
Yeah.
youth group, and I was not prepared. I was like sitting in the back, just like weeping. It's like instant tears for me.
I
That
gotta go
movie
down
is
the
so
middle
good.
school. Okay, we got 2 more questions. Number 1.
Okay.
This one again is kind of directed at me, but let's kind of spread it out.
We
Nathan,
don't have
hello.
to. Just go for
Why
it.
did you embarrass me so much during the Super Smash Bros. Tournament at OCC? Okay, so
Does
this
not
is
apply to any of us.
I'd like to hear
No.
how Anne answers this question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I defer to you, Nathan.
I'm assuming this one is from
Smart.
Jake. There was a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, and I was talking myself up quite a bit. So I didn't embarrass him because I won all of it. I embarrassed him because he was backing me and I lost in the second round. So
Oh wow,
yeah, yo, they had some killers out there.
that's crazy because you're really good at Smash.
Well, so yeah, that was I embarrassed everyone in that one, including myself, and that was it. Anybody else want to share embarrassing things before we move
I
on?
love that. I love that you embarrassed him because he was so supportive of you.
So much faith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
That you would
because
win.
you beat him, but because he
It's a bit
wanted you to win
precious.
so bad.
My favorite thing is I've heard Jake tell this same story before.
Gosh,
And
he
it's
always
awesome.
does it. Oh yeah. Okay, last question. You guys ready for it?
So ready.
Okay, this one might take a little bit of time to think about. It's a real head scratcher. Would you rather fight one bear-sized cockroach,
Oh my gosh.
3,000 cockroach?
Get out of here, Nick.
bears? So that's one bear-sized cockroach or 3,000 cockroach-sized bears.
I'm so ready.
And let's do it. And what do you
So
think?
ready for this. One big sized cockroach.
Take
Why?
it back, Anne.
Nope.
Why though?
Why?
I feel confident. I feel good about this decision
Explain your reasoning, please, because I'm lost.
because it's going to be like, and I'm going to go up underneath and I'm going to from the underneath like that.
Very
Yeah.
Frodo
where it
Baggins of
can't-
you.
Like it can't get me.
Okay. Are you worried that you'll lose some of your nerve when you see the features of a cockroach enlarged to that of a bear?
No, I
Okay.
am ready for this.
You're the strongest one of us all, man. Okay. Nick, what do you think? You're obviously a bear-sized cockroach man yourself.
Take it back. That's actually my my Twitter bio. One bear-sized cockroach, please. I don't. That would freak me out. I would much rather have miniature bears. And like, I don't feel like you need a lot to fight them. You know, hand me a hockey stick. Let's go.
But they got a bunch of little claws, and if they all climb up on you and they're scratching you like crazy,
3,000 is a lot.
3,000 is a lot.
You're gonna be faster. You're not gonna outrun a giant cockroach.
Well,
That's true.
I can
I know,
barely
climbing up underneath it.
outrun a normal sized cockroach.
Nice.
I don't think I can outrun a normal
They're
sized
super
cockroach.
speedy, yeah.
I will say, boric acid, the powder, works on cockroaches at a normal size. So I wonder if you made
Repellent
a
or death.
death. So I wonder if you just like shot a bunch of that powder at a giant cockroach, if he'd be like, "Whoa," and die, and then you're done.
I'm picturing. Have you guys ever like put flour in the end of a pantyhose and then you like swing it around and it hits and leaves a mark? I'm picturing Logan like with a Rambo headband with his boric acid pantyhose ready. Yeah.
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for answering all those questions.
Natty?
Maddie, you got to answer this one.
So listen, I'm thinking back to that episode of SpongeBob, where there's the butterfly that flies into Sandy's dome, and SpongeBob thinks it's really cute until it gets up in his face, and then it goes, and he gets like this super close shot of a butterfly, and you're like, oh, that's what I feel like it would be like to fight a big cockroach.
Yes.
So I would do the bears probably, but I would also just move out of my house if either of those groups of creatures was ever in there. So
hey, I don't think I've ever seen your bedroom. Yeah, we didn't go in there.
Yeah, don't go in there. There's a 3,000. Why is there a towel stuffed under the door here?
That's where the bears reign.
I guess I could ask a clarifying question, like what size of bear?
That's a good question. Size. What size of cockroach?
Oh, you're talking about like for the big one?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the biggest version of each. That's the only way this thing makes any sense. So the biggest version of a bear and the biggest version of a cockroach.
I would say the smallest version of each. One cub-sized cockroach?
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm saying. You have to ask the clarifying question.
It's true. Hey, do you guys have anything else to add? We're going to sign off here in a second. Anything you wish anybody would know before we go?
That Jesus loves them.
Yeah.
Jesus says love you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this. This was a ton of fun. I love just getting to answer the goofy questions and the serious ones you guys come up with, and I'm very blessed. I think we all are to be able to work in ministry alongside you guys. It is the highlight of my life, and I assume it is for you guys too. So for you guys here on the call, not you guys out in the.
Having Nathan work with you is the highlight of your life.
I can click the end stream button whenever you tell me to, Maddie.
Hey, we love you guys. Thank you
guys.
I'll see you guys next week for a surprise fun one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Join us on Wednesday for the after party as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.
Love you.
Bye.
Guys.